Hi. Good morning. Having some breakfast. Waffles every day. I love them. Every day. For years, my guys have seen me walking up to the job in the morning with a paper plate and some waffles. And my no sugar energy drink, which is like a fucking oxymoron. How you doing? I'm well. Thank you for asking. Season's kicking off. Getting after it here. I got a big crack filling job. We're starting this weekend on a monster lot. It's actually right up here. You're not going to see it, but I will. But yeah, it's a big lot, 500,000 square feet. You know, we usually go through 5 pallets on this job. So that's a good one. That'll be a good one. Got a bunch of guys starting out this season who don't have experience. Yep. And that's kind of the premise of my video.
New text message from Timmy Drake.
That's kind of the premise for my video, is like, you know, I don't even know what to do. I get so, you know, it's so hard to grow and maintain a business when, oh, fuck. Hey guys. Hey, so, you know, we're going to talk about like everything. Growing your business, making your business, taking it from small to big, and what are all the things that are going to encompass in that shit show, which it's going to be a shit show. I'm going to know that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, it's your sanity. It's your sanity, man. You know, it really is, because my uncle Bob, who's the one that taught me how to do all this shit, said to me one time when I was first starting out, like, be careful, man, you know, you don't want to become too big. It just becomes like a pain in the ass. And I remember thinking, like, what? Like, I want to be big. I want to be the biggest fucking thing there ever was. I want 10 trucks. I want, you know, fucking people everywhere, yada, yada, yada. And, but now I get it. I understand what he meant. I really do. Because, don't get me wrong, it depends, you know, it's all about like who you are as a person and what you wanted to do. Where do you want to be? What, you know, I'm very lucky because I have a very good business, and I don't take that for granted, not for 1 second. And I understand that at any moment that could be taken away from me by fucking something stupid, like something my guys do, you know, anything, you know. Like, I try my hardest to make sure that, like, everything is perfect. When people deal with me, you know, people are like, oh, why don't you get a salesperson? It's like, yeah, I've tried, I've thought about it. But at the end of the day, this is why I feel we're as successful as we are, is because people are dealing directly with me. You know, if you have a fucking problem, you pick up the phone. You don't call an office. You don't get fucking, you know, shaked around to this person or that person. You get me on the phone, and you get an answer of how it's going to get fixed right then. That's it. You know? And look, shit's going to happen, and things are going to get fucked up, and things are not going to go right. I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, I fucking go out. The day before, we finished this striping job for these condos. It was this underground parking garage. I didn't really do much video or take really many pictures of it. It was just a fucking shitty job all the way around, all right? It was, you know, an easy layout, you know, but the plan was all fucked up. So from the beginning, you had you know, spots that weren't right. Like, you know, you look at your plan, and I can even show you in this picture right here. But in this section right here, they had, two parking spaces, 8 feet apart, 2 handies. And then they were going to share the loading zones with the other handies. Now, the little spots right here, this is the, these are the columns. You know, so if you're not used to laying out or you don't know how to read a plan, these are the columns, all right? These are fucking there. They're not moving for anything, all right? They hold the building up, for crying out loud. So, all of a sudden, you turn around, and instead of it being 16 feet, it's only 14 feet, 9 inches. And it's like, well, how the hell am I supposed to put this in there? I can't fit. You can't fit a fucking square peg in a round hole.
Okay, people, listen up. People upstairs handed us this one, and we gotta come through. We gotta find a way to make this fit into the hole for this, using nothing but that.
You know? So, I go grab the guys, and this is what that looked like. Everybody's standing there, nobody knows what the fuck to do or what's going on. And we like come up with a plan. Each parking space had unit numbers. Okay, so there was, you know, U321, U220. The 220 is the apartment number. The U means unit, all right? But then not just that, but they also had at the top consecutive numbers. So, yeah, I'll show you the plan. Here's a plan. I pulled it up, and we didn't have to match the colors or put any of the compact stuff in, but we, we follow the plan. Like, so when I get the plan now, when I look at this now that I'm putting this on my computer, it's bigger, right? It's like, you know, when I look at it when I pull it up on Gmail on my computer, I can see the detail. It's fucking awesome. On my phone, it looks a little fuzzy. And when you try to expand it, it gets a little bit fuzzier. So it's kind of hard to read, you know? But this kid, Sean, who was like the GC, he was cool. He fucking helped me, walked around, he kind of marked some stuff out. Then there was this other, you know, Asian guy who's like the GC for the Asians, you know, and he's kind of walking around, and, you know, he's telling me, like, look, the consecutive number, like, there was a plan, you know, there's usually, if you do a big job like that, there's usually one place where there's the plans, you know. So in this case, it was just a parking plan, because we were in there, or the old parking plan, turned out, and they put it on top of this, you know, rebar shit. And he's showing me, like, look, it doesn't have the unit numbers, but it has all the consecutive numbers, you know. It starts at 1 there, goes all the way around. Okay, yes, thank you, no problem. So we start going. Now, there was a spot. Well, so we do the job. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. So we do the job, and I go home. I know this is fucking horrible video content, eating fucking waffles, but I'm on the fucking fly, folks, and you gotta come with me, all right? So I tell him, I go home, I go to sleep. I'm like laying in bed, and it dawns on me, oh fuck, I forgot to paint an arrow, right? So I text the guy. I go, hey man, I think I forgot to paint an arrow. And but I had to do a Tesla charging station, which happened to be in the supermarket parking lot right across the street from this place, you know, which is another story. But I go, okay, so I go, I gotta come do this Tesla, so I'm just gonna pop in there tomorrow. I'm gonna bang that arrow out for you. He goes, okay. You missed the number 2. I'm like, I missed the number 2, or I missed a number TOO. He's like, no, you missed the number TOO. Okay. So I bring the stencils out there. I get there. I think I'm fucking walking in there. I'm going to bang this out in like 3 minutes. You know, I've been going from 7 in the morning to 7 at night all week. And, you know, I wanted to go home and hang with the family, you know. So I'm thinking if I can get home by 4, like, I'm fucking doing good. Well, I walk in there and he goes, come here, I got to show you something. Okay. So I walk over, and up against this row, there's, you know, numbered parking spaces, right? So he goes, you know, it's consecutive. So 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 40, all from 40. It went from 28 to 50, right? But between 39 and 40 is the number 10. He goes, come here for a second. I go, okay. He goes, what's that? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, why is there a number 10 between 39 and 40? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Now, I had a new guy start. It was his second or third day on striping with me. You know, he's never done this before. So right away, I'm thinking, like, did this fucking kid, like... But then I'm like, wait a minute. Like, no, wait, I remember. And then it starts, like, coming back to me, you know? I'm like, I remember this. Like, I'm remembering this, you know? And I'm like, no. I fucking saw that. And I thought to myself, this fucking kid, why, what, am I just supposed to use the 0? Because sometimes if we, you know, if we're running short on numbers or something, like I have tons of 10s. So we'll just drop the 0 and I'll paint just the 0, you know? So I'm thinking, like, am I supposed to just drop and hit the 0? So I walk over to the plans where the plans were, and I look at the plan, and as you can see right here, sure as shit, there's a fucking number 10. I go, okay, well, you know this business, we paint the plan. So whatever the plan is, that's what we're painting. Because at the end of the day, we can hold up that fucking plan and go, this is what it said. So, you know where this is going. You can see where this is going, right? So I fucking I go and I go, geez, you know, I remember this. And that fucking plan said 10. He goes, no, it didn't. I go, yes, it did. He's like, I have the plan right here. And he pulls out his phone. And I'm like, no. The fucking plan the Asian guy had has the fucking plan, has that 10 on it. Go find that fucking plan. If it's not there, I owe you a fucking steak dinner. Like, I'm fucking telling you, you know? And, oh, okay. So he takes off, you know? So then I fucking call my guy who worked with me. Kevin, I need the pictures that you took of that plan. I need the one that said number 10. I need to see that, you know? So he sends it over. Sure as shit, it says number 10. So he comes out and he's like, yeah, you're right. It did say number 10, you know? And he's like, fuck, you know? He goes, that guy should have never shown you that plan. Like, that's an old plan. And that the 10 was clearly a misprint, right? So I'm like, okay, you know, like, okay. So now he's like, you know, the numbers go consecutively. So it went 39, 10, 40. So every number after that had to be fucking fixed, right? But the way we did it kind of saved ourselves because we worked in sections. So that section that came down the wall to the corner and then down the short side of the building, we laid out. So and then all the other ones, like, we would walk over to the plan and say, what's the number say? Like, we didn't go, even though it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like, we didn't do it that way. We painted the plan. We walked over. What does the fucking plan say? Okay, there's an 83 in this square. There's gonna be grab the 83, throw it in, you know. So, so I only had to fix like 10 of them, right? And it wasn't a big deal because I was just across the street at Tesla. I had my fucking scarifier, which, you know, is a machine that grinds off the the old lines. I have a video showing us, showing how it's used and shit. So I grind it off, but then like they start walking around and they're checking shit, and they start finding all these other mistakes, right? And I'm like trying to explain to them, like, listen, when we lost that parking spot, when we took that handicap spot out, let's say it was spot 38, 28 or 48, it was 48. But when we took spot 48 out, that changed all of the other numbers past that. All 100 numbers that came past that changed. And they're trying to tell me, well, not the GC, but the Asian GC is trying to tell me, no, these are all wrong after this. You have to, like, they wanted us to grind off and replace fucking 100 fucking spots, And I'm trying to tell them, no, buddy, no, like, and I kind of got, now listen, this is a teachable moment right here, and this is, this didn't happen, but it could have happened. It would have been fucking bad if it happened, all right? And that is when we pulled out number 48, should we have just kept going with 49 right out, like, just, so it goes 47, 49, or does it go 47 and then 49 now becomes 48? Now, I should have stopped and I should have called somebody and explained that to them and said, what do you want me to do? Because, like, I made that decision. I should, and you, listen, when you're doing this, you never want to make your own decisions. You want to make somebody tell you what to do every single time. All right? It's so that you can say, hey, it's all about bearing as little responsibility as possible, And look, you're there to do a job. You're there to offer your expertise. You're there for your equipment. You're there for your experience. Okay, you're not there for design. You're not there for engineering. They're supposed to have the plan. You show up. You fucking paint the plan. Done. And I'm like, like, what the fuck? So I tell the guy, I'm like, so what we did was we just kicked out 48 and made 49 48, and then just kept, which changed every spot after that. So there, and I'm trying to explain to him, no, look, you have to do that. Like, you're numbering the spots. It'd be one thing if it was assigned parking, then yeah, you could do that. But if you, for whatever fucking reason, you guys wanted to consecutively number these spots on top of unit numbers, we're talking 6 fucking different stencils for each parking spot. Those 140 spots. So it's like, oh my God, I was up to my ass and elbows in fucking stencils, And then, the new guy, because we would walk around and I would, me or the GC, Sean, would like take chalk and write underneath the parking space what the stencil number was. And his job all day was just to grab stencils and fucking run them to their spots, And he misread a couple of things.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
So I had to fix 7 on top of the ones that I had to grind off, which was, I think, 11 or something. 40, I don't know, fucking 39 to 56. So however many that is. And then they started walking around with the plan, and they found 7 spots that had one number incorrect. Like, it was supposed to be a 3, it was a 2. It was supposed to be a 1, it's a 7. And, the GC's like, well, I just blame that on it being hard to read. I'm like, fucking in my mind, I'm like, no. And I told him, like, listen, this shit right here, that's not on me, But at the end of the day, this stuff is, because this was my guy. I should have walked around. I should have made sure. It was just fucking embarrassing all around. It really was, you know. And then on top of all of that, now I'm fucking like flustered, you know, like I'm fucking like, I'm thinking like I'm never gonna sleep, like, you know, I'm just gonna fucking wear this on my chest for the next 3 days, and then I'm like, I start getting like this fucking feeling, like, you know, this remorseful, like sorrowish feeling, you know, and I'm kind of walking around with my headphones on, just in a little fucking slump, and then I drop an arrow. The arrow that I originally came to paint, I dropped it in the wrong direction and painted it. Yep. And they're all, every fucking one of them was standing there. And the Asian guy goes, you know, in Asia, and goes, you know, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And the GC's kind of looking at me at this point like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you know? And I had to grind it. I had to grind that one off. It was just not good. It just was not good, you know. And I don't think I've ever had a day. I was laying in bed last night trying to think to myself, when was the last time I fucked something up like that? When was the, you know, at the end of the day, it is a fuck up. I fucked up. It wasn't a home run right off the bat, but also like I don't know, like, it wasn't, you know, I had the stuff with me. I could easily fix it, you know. I mean, the scarifier, the grinder, I'd fucking go in, grind the wrong ones off, you know, put the new ones down, and yeah, you know, it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to fix everything versus, you know, the 20 minutes that I thought it was going to take. But you know, I let myself down because I was laying in bed trying to think, like, when was the last time, like, you fucking, like, I don't know. I don't really know. And I'm not blaming it on having a new guy, you know, because at the end of the day, the responsibility is all mine, you know. But honestly, like, you know, that's the downside of having new guys, you know. It's you start getting in a role and you forget that this guy doesn't know fucking anything. If you don't fucking hold his hand for a little bit, nothing's gonna get done. I had another guy, same thing. We sent him out to power wash. He's been out power washing for like a few fucking days, and I'm asking him, like, is it the water, is it the machine? And he just didn't know. He didn't know shit about the machine, so how the fuck is he gonna know? I'm relying on him to tell me something that he knows absolutely nothing about, you know. And I'm like, find out, okay, you know. And then come to find out, the pump was gone on the machine. Like, it was still working, but barely. But he didn't know that. So for shits and giggles, he's having a fucking hard time at a job yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I got this fucking pump. I threw it on the other machine. I had to go out by him anyways to go to Tesla, so I dropped the machine off, and it was like night and day. He's fucking killing it, you know, like flying through shit. But, you know, so I just spent, you know, 3 fucking days losing money because, you know, I couldn't identify the problem right off the bat. So you can't blame that on a new guy. Sorry, you just can't. At the end of the day, you're the guy, you're the fucking boss, and it all fucking lies on you. So, you know, that's pretty much all I got for you today. Have a good one. How you doing? My name's Ryan Anderson. I'm the owner of that company. See these right here? Yeah, we help install these. I have a plea for Elon. Can we please work out a system so that when we come in to do work on these charging stations, they show offline? Because yesterday I came in by the old markings. This is a shared Tesla with a supermarket. I had to grind off the old lines, paint it black, and now repaint the new lines according to Tesla spec. When I left, the whole job looked like this. There were cones every 2 feet. Everything was blocked off with caution tape. But because some entitled assholes decided that, well, I don't know, they just decided that they they needed to charge their car, down all the stuff, they drove over the job, and they basically ruined it. You know? Now, the attitude I was getting from people yesterday was, well, it's showing online that it's active. And I said, well, we got cones up, everything's blocked off, and you're not charging, so I got a job to do. Well, they waited until we left, and then they came and did whatever the fuck they wanted anyways. So we need to come up with an app or something, allow people to make notes on the app that shows where the charging stations are, so that we can say, hey, we're doing work over here. Charging station is closed.